name is Martin. Welcome to part 2 of our washing stand series. Today we have to build the doors for our washing stand, and I already have most of my material here. We are going to use some doors from a company called Blum. It's here in Austria the biggest company that builds such door systems and also hinges for doors and something. I like to use this material because they give nice instructions with this material, and also it's for a nice price to become. So it's very cool and straightforward stuff. So as mentioned, I like to work with this and use it as often as I can. So the system I use here is called Legrabox. It's one of the newer systems that they sell. So we have these side panels here that come with this system. What I don't have here currently are the system underneath. That's the door system himself. So what we have to do for this system, we have to build the bottom plate and the back panel and paint it. So and also the cover in the front, but this I currently don't have here. Come in the next few days. It's ordered but isn't here at this moment. So we have to deburr the edges and paint the back panel. And on the bottom panel we have more to do. We have to cut out a fold underneath where the side panel slides in. Don't know if you can see it here. Here in this section has to be milled out of the bottom panel and also have to be painted. And then there are holders for the front cover, and you just click it in and that's ready. So let's get started with the milling for the folds and deburr the edges of the plates and then paint it. So we have to cut out the gap in the bottom plate with 38 by 8 millimeters. So I set up my saw blade to the 8 millimeters of thickness and 38 millimeters of deepness, and we will put the panel through the saw. So we have the first cut, and later on we flip it over and make the second cut in the lying direction. So see how this works. It's not the safest way in the world to do so, but the best way I can do. So let's get started. made a first test fit with the parts. Looking pretty good so far. Now the next part is to deburr the edges a bit and to paint them. So let's get started with this. So normally in the manual it's described that you should paint those two parts together or separately and then build the door together. But I think it will look better as I assemble them together before I paint them and then paint it together. So this gap here between those two parts will look better. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. All a bit different. So the glue is dried. Now a bit of sanding of the edges and then we can start with the primer. Well, the parts are finished. Next part is to put the primer on. I have here some MDF primer, normally white, and I'll put this on and let it dry overnight. So the primer dried overnight. Next step, we give it a little intermediate sanding with a 240, and then we can start with the final paint. So I cleaned up the dust from the surface. Now it's time to paint. I have a white solvent-based paint here, my paint roller. I will thin it a bit, and then we will paint the surface and let it dry overnight. paint dried overnight, but I'm not really pleased with the uniformity of the color. So I put a second layer on, let this dry, and we'll see tomorrow if this helped or otherwise. Yeah, I don't know what I do. So, second layer. So, the paint dried overnight. Now I'm fine with the finish, looking as good as possible as a not sprayed finish, but it's looking pretty good so far. So now let's start with the assembly of the drawers. We have to mount the side panels, and that's it for today because I don't have the front panels till now, but we already can assemble the rest of the drawer. So now the last step to call our doors finished is to mount the brackets for the front cover. So I have calculated all the measurements, and they are just to position and screw on, and then they snip onto the drawer. So yeah, let's get started and see how this works. snapping the covers in place, and voila, finishes the door. So that's it for my part, for this part. The next parts will follow, where we build the one vertical cabinet for towels and stuff, and the big cabinet underneath the sinks, where the drawers and the deck plate out of corian will be for. So yeah, that's for my part. I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you do like it. Leave me some comments. How do you like it? And have a nice day.